Get in my fucking car. I don't care. Put me on World Star. I'm already famous on World Star.
I got you.
Put me on World Star. This little bitch wants to fucking flirt with his bitch who's scooping macaroni and cheese. He's gonna get macaroni and cheese.
Tell the camera what he did. Tell the camera what he did.
I'm the shit. Ain't no bitch hotter than me. Ain't no bitch more paid than me. Fuck all you fucking bitches.
Therefore.
Fuck all you bitches. Ain't nobody got $10,000 tits like me. $10,000 on my titties, bitch.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Oh my god, you laughed at me.
Woo-hoo, I got it. I got it.
That's kind of like she's kind of like that trailer park hot like we were talking about in the group chat.
Oh, she
little more, but
yeah, she breaches into another territory. She gets into the kind of more. Oh, she's pushing a little ghetto. You know what I mean? For me, she gets out of white trash because she loses some of the southerniness. Like she's she's getting a little out of that zone for me. But I feel you. She's definitely trashy. That's stripper trash. That's what that is.
Stripper trash.
Which there's a time and a place for, but that's not my favorite type of stripper. Do you think does that to me that like the way the light is and everything in that one that looks like it's like early morning? That's not evening, right? Like that's after a long night of fucking getting fucked up, right?
Yeah. That's like they've been at the club all night, and then now it's morning, and they're kind of like they're starting to get a little bit like hungover. They didn't go to sleep or something.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
well, the bag ran low about an hour ago, so they're starting to wind down the night. Yep. Yeah, we've all been there. Speaking of white trash chicks, it's sort of my anniversary today. Not like getting married or anything, but since me and my girl got like official 16 years ago.
Nice.
Is that right?
Congrats.
23. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. So actually, a funny story that evening we used to go to this place. It was this beach. It was there's this bridge that connects the Tampa to St. Pete side. Well, there's several, but this one particular is called the Gandy Bridge. And I found out about Gandy Beach. I was in college or something, and somebody took me there, and it was like so. Most beaches have like tons of rules, right?
Yeah.
No pets, only open certain hours. No booze, all this shit. Well, this particular beach had no rules. You could be there like any time of day. You could have alcohol. What if they don't want like glass containers is always a big thing. They don't want glass on the beach, for obvious reasons, so long as you're cool.
Yeah.
The bridge, people would street race there at night. It was a big like racing spot, this and that. So I used to go there and just they had like these like these bays of trees. You pull your car in, you could be like sitting in the shade, beach right there, your own little private thing. Like it was just a cool place to hang out. Well, I didn't know this, but apparently it's also like the local like gay hookup spot, right? So which now looking back like, oh, it's perfect. It's got the stalls and this and that. I mean, we used to just go there to party. A lot of people go there to party or whatever.
Yeah.
But I have a friend who's a lawyer, a public defender in St. Pete, and they started telling me, I was like, oh yeah, I love going to Gandy Beach, and they're like, I have 3 clients right now who are facing like public indecency charges for quote unquote just taking a piss on Gandy Beach, and I'm like, oh, it's one of those places. So anyhow, me and my girl are there. We're hanging out. We're in our little bay there. We're outside the car. We're talking and we're making out and shit. I just get this feeling of like being watched, right? And like so, some dude, one of these, I don't know, I guess gay hookup guys or whatever, is like a bay or two over, and so he's like watching us, and I don't know if he's jerking off or what, but I'm like, all right, well, I gotta be like tough here.
Be kind of odd for a gay guy.
Yeah, right. So I'm like, hey, hold on a second. I start like, yo, man, what the fuck you doing? And try and get all tough and shit. And he's like, oh, what do you mean? And I'm like, you're over here peeping on me and my girl. Get the fuck out of here, da da da. And he's like, I'm not doing anything. And I'm like, oh fuck, I kind of expected him to like
like
leave
just
when I
screw off,
started
yeah.
talking shit. You know? And he's like, well, what are you talking about? I'm just hanging out. And I'm like, oh fuck, now I really gotta fucking. Anyhow, he ended up leaving us alone or whatever. But it's like Jesus Christ. So yeah, it ended up being kind of a creepy situation, I guess. So know your hangout spots. What was that? Was it something about Mary or something where he just goes like take a piss and ends up tripping over like a whole pile of, like truckers fucking and the cops come and it was like this big gay like meetup bust and he just happened into it, you know? So, you know, he's know your spots. It could be beneficial.
Yeah.
I was just taking a piss. They all say, buddy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, good
You
times.
can get caught like that. Like there are some places where like cops are like if you're just if you even out in your yard if somebody could see you or whatever, like the cops are weird about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, man, you can get public indecency like accidentally, you know, for sure. Not even like deliberately being a creeper, but yeah, just peeing in public. Yeah.
Like I had to like there was nowhere to like stop for a while and like on one drive and just hop out and you go somewhere in the bushes and then all of a sudden you hear like a car honking. I'm like, oh god, I hope that like that they're not like calling the cops or something like that. But like I finished up and we got on the road. I was like, no, I don't want to deal with that kind of thing.
Here, check this out. So this was something they implement. I think this was from 2018. These urinals you see here, they actually they come up like at night. So like they lower themselves like down into the ground during like the day, okay, and then like at night when all the drunks come out and piss all over the place, they lower themselves or they raise up out of the ground. They're on like hydraulics.
That's crazy.
And so it's like street, like, okay, this one maybe doesn't lower down in the ground. But some of them do, and we'll get to why that's important here in a second. But they're like public urinals and like they're, whatever, like biodigester things. So they're like, there's no plumbing, which is, like it's not necessarily ideal to have urinals all over, but if people are just going to piss on the street and the whole place smells like piss, and then you have to come around and spray shit to make it not smell like piss, then it just smells like a porta potty. Like that's not really a good solution either. So I don't necessarily mind this. Because hey, man, I come out of the bar drunk. I don't give a fuck. I'm pissing anywhere. So have one of these. But let me see if I can find why. Let's see why that them going up into the goes up and down matters. Okay, here we go. So they go up and down into the ground in some places. This poor motherfucker, maintenance worker, was working on one of them, and the hydraulics fucked up and it crushed him. Like he was down on the ground. I don't mean to laugh. He was down on the ground working on the thing, and this one was in London. And I guess it stopped. Some of the hydraulics broke and it lowered and crushed him by urinal.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's not really what you want on your like obituary.
It's like that's like the worst way to go. Like,
yeah, crushed under a fucking urinal, public piss spot. Yeah, that sucks. Once again, it's the blue collar people just making the world function that end up getting crushed under urinals. It's never the criminals.
Oh, if only it was more like like Final Destination and like someone who's actually like causing a problem, like starting stuff or whatever, and something happens to them, like they get struck by lightning or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's always the like like pleb worker, like the average your average worker that's sitting there working on a power line pole or something freaking gets struck by lightning.
Well, that's what I was getting, like the action movies. They have this cool action chase scene and it's like 17 civilians just died like in this chase scene. We're just like, whatever.
It's like this, they knocked the whole building over, but they're chasing the villain or like or if it's like a if it's like a I guess like a Fast and Furious where they're both kind of in a gray area. So it's like they're just destroying buildings. It's like there are people there.
Yeah, yeah. There's innocence there. You're supposed to be the hero.
Like, it must. Who am I rooting for here? like,
Well, so like when yeah, Superman. I actually gonna holler at you late, and I want to watch your episode you just did. 3D Print General. Looks like you've been putting out some good shit. That's awesome. So I heard a discussion on a podcast the other day, and people were talking about the catalytic converter thieves who were like dying, like it happened again. Like one of them, the jack fell on him. There's the other one where the lady didn't realize what was happening, was in her car and backed over the guy. And I even made this exact comment, like, okay, that's God taking out the trash, you know. And the conversation that they were having was like, how come when something like this happens, we're like, good, you know, good, the person got killed, they get what they deserve. But then it's like, okay, when somebody does something and they go to trial, it's like, oh no, fair trial and this, that, and the other. And I'm kind of like that. But I think my feeling behind it is like, one of them was an action none of us had to take. We didn't have to go out and arrest them and have a trial and have all this money and have all this hoopla. He was pretty obviously fucking guilty, right? Kind of caught in the act underneath the thing with a sawzall. You know what I mean? Like, there's not really another way like around that. So it's like, cool. We didn't have to make like a decision about that. We don't have to have morals as a just society or whatever and make sure a fair trial. Because again, if it was like, okay, my catalytic converter got stolen and we tracked this person down because of this or that evidence, you'd want to make sure it's the right person. You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, the trial, etc. But when it's some shit and somebody's like fucking around and they die, like doing something illegal or doing something that would harm another person, it's just like, good. Fuck them.
Yeah. Well, it's like the one the recent one where the if I could find the article, they were trying to rob this lady at a store, and she pulled a pistol and shot him. And then they were like, the family was trying to get sympathy, and they're like, oh, he didn't do nothing, like he was trying to get back, and he was trying to get better, and all this kind of stuff, but he tried to rob a store and he got shot. Like, he robbed her at gunpoint and he got shot. He got what he deserved.
Like I've got friends who, like have done robberies and shit and did time or whatever. And like, I'm glad they didn't get shot and killed. You know what I mean? But if they had, it's like, fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the person would have been in the right to do it. You know what I mean? For sure. So it's, there are people who can commit crimes like that and end up being fine people, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's being young and stupid, hanging out with the wrong crowd, whatever. Whatever the case may be. Some people are just trash, but if you're at that point in your life where you're doing shit like that, like, fine. If you get taken out, like, I'm fine with it, because who knows?
Yeah, I mean, and then the people will use the argument of like, what if it was your kid or something like this, and it's like no, if my kid's doing that, he needs to expect like that's gonna happen. And like,
it would suck, and you'd be sad. You know what I mean, for sure, and you'd probably wish that it had gone down a different way. But I think that's like a job of a parent, though, is to educate your kids on why you don't fuck around like that. because aside from the moral aspect of not thieving, it's the staying alive aspect of not thieving, because you have the right to shoot you over the shit.
I mean, that's what people like. People have forgotten that, like, at some point you invite violence, like it's like even the recent protests. Like, I don't know if you saw I think they're like in Canada. There was a guy who was just sitting there protesting because they're trying to, like, I think it was something about trans thing. They were trying to promote that, the government was, or something like that. And so he was just saying like, hey, we don't need to be promoting this kind of stuff. And so there was another, like, a counter protester there who just like is screaming in his face, and he's just standing there. And then all of a sudden, like, he just tells him like, hey, back up, buddy. And they just deck him in the face, and the cops there won't do anything because they're protecting the counter protesters. So it's like at some point, like, you're going to invite violence, like, like both sides in that situation are inviting violence. Like when you show up and you meet up and you're in front of somebody and you get in their face, whatever, or you're inviting violence one way or another. Like, it's inevitable.
Jack Spirko, I don't think it's original to him, but he's got this saying he says all the time, and it's like, you want to stay out of trouble, You want to stay alive. It's don't do stupid things in stupid places with stupid people, and that's where 99% of your problems come in. And I mean, it is true. I mean, there is always just the random shit, that happens. But even my semi-random shit, I shouldn't have been out that late at night. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's stuff that it's, it wouldn't have happened if I was just at home, hitting the bong and watching a stupid movie with the old lady. Like most of that shit wouldn't have happened. Obviously, shit still does. But then the other thing is stupid people, man. I mean, that's something else you got to learn as a kid because.
You decide to go out to the bar a little bit later than normal, and all of a sudden you get the crazies that are at the bar or something like that.
I just going to a bar, period, even during the day. Of course, the later you get, or what part of town, or what type of bar can increase those risks. I mean, you're just, it's just those places. You're going to be close. There's people drinking there. No matter what time of day. You just never know. So, it's that's the big thing. Stay out of trouble. That's something it helps instill in your children, and it's tough because like when I was like, let's say a teenager, I probably had a lot more sense than most of my friends. And there was plenty of kids who just didn't, who were good kids, like, or as I called them, nerds. But, they were, squares or whatever. And they probably gotten like, they didn't run into the same risky and troubles I did. But I quickly remember like most like people I hung out with who like weren't squares, like didn't make the best decisions, and I had to be like the voice of reason in the group and keep everybody from getting arrested,
off the rails.
Yeah. And there's been plenty of times I've opted out. I'm like, you guys go ahead. I'm going to opt out of this event, so sometimes you got to make decisions.
That's bold of you because there's a lot of them who just like, they just literally go along with it. Like no matter.
I've gone along with it way more times than I should have, So, I'll admit that, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, and a lot of them that I knew that went along to get along, that they ended up being as bad, if not worse, than some of the your mileage may vary, but there's a lot of them if they went along to get along to a certain point, like there was a certain threshold where they just like, okay, they're like, I'm just gonna be a straight up criminal. I'm gonna go rob places. Like, no, a couple of them that I went to high school with that. They straight up did robberies or had like actual drug trafficking charges, and they were obviously trying to sell like massive amounts of like drugs and stuff like that.
And obviously not doing a good job of it.
Yeah,
or else you'd never hear about
it. Yeah. Well, they were kind of dumb, so I didn't expect them to be like smart criminals. Like, I mean, they get literally F's in school. It's which is kind of hard to do, like especially in a lot of
if you try. It's easy if you just don't show up. That's how I did it. Or do homework. Oh man! So we got any actual news today?
Let's see here. We got. Let's see. Did you want to talk about? Well, there's the. We could just let's talk about this one actually.
All right.
There's Gavin Newsom, our favorite governor. Let's talk about our favorite governor.
He is second to the governator.
Governator. Oh, I like that. That's awesome. He does wear the aviator shades.
He's got a villainous haircut.
He does, but here's the thing. I think that's an advantage to him. So they're speculating on can he kind of not really run for president. They're not doing that for DeSantis, which is funny because I think DeSantis is more likely to run than Gavin Newsom. But I do think Gavin Newsom does want to run because he's clearly making an effort to try to get his name out there for sure.
Are we talking about running like specifically this next presidential election or just sometime in the future?
Well, I guarantee he's probably going to run in the future. Period.
He's still pretty young, right?
Yeah, let's see.
He looks young.
Let's see.
I mean, it's hard to tell with the baby blood and all.
Yeah, well, I mean, it works better for some than others, I guess.
Yeah. And Pelosi just goes straight to her tits.
That's the only thing it preserved. It like the face.
And does it ever? Oh, fuck.
I mean, if you fix the rest of the body.
Look, all I'm saying is I'd be willing to take a peek at him. I just want to see. I'm curious. She had an OnlyFans. I'd do the $5 level, just for a month, just to see what was going on. I'm curious.
Like,
Fuck.
you get that gilf physique here.
I just want to see how far they go down.
It's sag. Yeah. How much saggage are we talking?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Apparently, he was born in '67, so that makes him a little bit younger than my dad.
Oh, so he's not even. Does that make you not even 50?
Let's see.
Right about there. It's Monday, guys. So don't expect me to do basic.
He would be 56. Yeah, 56. I think he's not quite 60.
50. Yeah. You're right. Okay. Yeah. Mid-50s. Okay. It's sometimes I don't know if it's getting older, but I feel like people don't look as old to me as they used to, because it used to be like somebody who was 60 looked like the fucking Crypt Keeper,
Yeah. Now it's like, oh, like they're only 60. Like that's
that ain't too bad. Unless of course you're watching like a movie from the 80s or something, because
they
were
look
watching
really
Parenthood last night. Yeah, they're like Steve Martin's playing a character younger than me. Maybe Steve Martin was younger than me then too, but Steve Martin can never look young.
Yeah, he's kind of has an old face.
Yeah. Well, it's the hair, because he's been gray since 1942.
Well, I mean, he has you can see the wrinkles in his face for a while now.
What was it like Cheers? All the characters were either in their mid-30s or supposed to be playing somebody in their mid-30s, but they all look old as fuck.
Yeah, they're like mid-40s.
Yeah, man, hard living back then.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I guess growing up in the 70s and everything does.
So he's might or might not run. I don't know. Is DeSantis going to run? I don't want him to run. I can't.
I think he's running. I like he keeps saying no, I'm focused on Florida, blah blah blah. But let's be real here. There's no reason for him to okay, he's got a book coming out and he's going to New York to do a book signing or whatever, something like that. I don't buy it. That's clearly you don't you can sign your books in Florida.
2024? Okay? Is it 20? Is that the next election? Is it next year?
Next year.
Holy shit!
Yeah, dude. It feels like 2020 was just happened. It's like, oh crap.
I still remember the day after the election on Facebook on 2016. That was a day.
Yeah, that was a fun one because you get to see especially the protests at DC. Oh my gosh, the destruction, dude. They went nuts.
There was some of my really crazy lefty friends just weren't there for 4 days. They just nothing.
They just
no post, no nothing. Yeah, I think they were as shocked as all of us.
Yeah,
that he actually won. So.
Well, I wasn't really shocked that he won. I was shocked. I mean, I guess I was already losing faith in the system. I was shocked that they allowed him to win. I guess I was like, they let it happen.
It's things like that simultaneously both make me think elections are real or faker than we could even imagine. At the same time, because I'm like, what? They allowed that to happen? Same thing as you did. That I'm like, This has to be on purpose. This is all on purpose. It has to be.
See, I mean, I was already on that track. I was like, either they're trolling us, and they actually allowed him to win just to basically screw everything up. And I think that may have been something they were like, okay, well, we can let him win this time, and then that way we can set him up to he'll never be able to do it again, kind of thing.
Right.
Because they were going to do 2020, and I don't know. How far in advance. I don't think they're really that a lot of people think that they have a master plan. I really don't think that they're that bright. I think that they may have a general direction. Okay, we don't want Trump to be in office in 2024. That may be something that a plan that they have. But how deep are we talking? How deep or does it go? Does the rabbit hole go? Are they literally? I do think that the balance and that kind of stuff did affect a lot of things, but we can't say a lot about that. But I do think that a lot of that kind of stuff was messed with. But how? What levels are they willing to go to? Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like beyond like having to do like a ballot thing, you feel like they could just like click, click, click on the computer, and it's like that's all it would really take, to do it. So who knows, man? And yeah, I agree. I don't think because I think it might be like different groups. And this isn't original to me. Obviously, you've heard this before, but different groups reach out to touch the levers of power because like. What would like be like the the Austrian economics argument on like why like antitrust laws are stupid, for instance. You say, well, cartels can only happen so much naturally anyhow, because anytime one has been tried, people, they break it, they undercut, people.
Well, somebody breaks them up,
and they're still going to do their thing, or they break up themselves because they don't follow their own rules, So. And then of course
there's infighting.
The whole,
there's like
competition and shit. Right. Infighting, whatever. I mean, there's lots of reasons they just don't hold together well, like naturally. And I think
it's 20
any group.
I think that's 2016. Like that's 2016. There's a lot of infighting. Like do we want like someone like Hillary? Like a lot of do we want somebody like Bernie? Like did we want Hillary? Did we want Bernie? They didn't really know. So okay, Hillary wins out. Because they wanted Hillary to win out.
I don't think they ever want Bernie.
They don't. Well, I think there's a certain set of people who do want like a Bernie. Like they want somebody like that, which I guess is why AOC got propped up too. Like okay, like here's
like
here's
actual
Bernie's...
commies, you think, or is she like or people like that, like more like controlled opposition kind of thing?
Actual. I do think there are
commies.
actual commies. Because I mean, if you think about it, there was the the Russian subversion. There is a little bit of like Chinese subversion. That they want some more like global communism stuff like going on. I don't know who all's involved, but clearly like whatever communist parties are probably wanting something like that to happen.
Do you think they actually want communism to happen, or do you think just as a tool to fuck us up? A is either destabilization just in like the political sphere, or B like, oh man, like the same kind of thing, like where you lure the Soviets into Afghanistan, or lure the U.S. into Afghanistan to weaken them, that kind of thing. No,
I think it could be. They could be playing both sides of the coin. Like it could be like, okay, well,
it could be all.
Yeah.
Again, different factions of people, different goals.
Yeah. It's like you got part of them that like, okay, well, we actually do want global communism, so like let's just get global communism in there, like WEF kind of stuff. Or you have the people who are like, okay, well, I don't really want communism, but like if it tanks America, then like yeah, let's go for it.
Right.
If that's what destroys America, then go for it. Like because
we sell it hard enough, and yeah. That's why I'm bad at chess, man. I hate trying to figure out what other people. That's why like con men fascinate me, especially like the long con. The guys who put like years into it to get a shit ton. It's just like because it just
the long con is it's harder to pull off, but it has the biggest payoff. It's kind of like they're like people who talk about in stock investing. So and I don't claim to be like a great stock trader, but there are people who talk about like sort of like value stock investors. Like they play the long con. It's like, okay, well this company is going to be valued more in like 5 or 10 years, and so I'm going to buy now when it's like stupid cheap, because then in 5 or 10 years they're going to get back on track, and then like you kind of have to lay this out, and you have to think about it like long term, and that long term planning is like really difficult to guess, especially with something like country or the companies or anything that's going to stand the test of time, like over that period of time. It's like it's hard to stick with the plan, like because at some point, like even with those, like it's like, okay, I'm up like if I was up $100,000, like it's like, okay, well, do I just take that, or do I take like I could possibly have $1 million if it goes up more, and that's those are the kind of things like you gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
Well, what fascinates me is just that people are just that good, especially in the straight up con man thing. Like people are just that good at manipulating people or knowing what other people are going to do. Because I feel like you're putting so much faith on the other person. I mean, you're helping guide them to their decision one way or another, but making the decision that you want them to make in order for this plan
Oh.
to continue. You
If
know,
you
it's just
if you
crazy.
understand if you understand human psychology,
Mhm.
people are very predictable. They actually there was a I don't know if it was a
Finding the right mark, I feel like, is a big part of it. You know, you got to find the
yes.
right, you know,
Mhm.
once you find the right person, you
Yeah.
know,
Find somebody who's
y-
really, some dope to be able
well, yeah,
to
it's like how
uh,
some people, like,
or
you know,
or
some
someone
people just,
who you can like if you can bait somebody into something. So like if you wanted to get someone to say you wanted to put this person in jail and you knew they were like really like they got angry really easily, you do the thing that makes them the most angry so that they catch an assault charge like on you, and then all of a sudden they're in jail and now haha very funny, like that's the kind of thing, like the planning that you have to do. It's like
I haven't read
Hmm.
any of Jordan Peterson's books.
I actually only read the first one. I
All I
didn't
know
read the
about him
second one.
is the controversies over him, and very little about that. Are they worth a read? I know he's kind of like weird.
The
but
first one is worth a read, I think.
is
The
that the
second
12 Rules of
one,
Life?
yeah,
That one.
that the second one, like I haven't really gotten through it, but it's kind of meh. But like the first one does have a lot of good things in it. Like talking about thing, but some of it is like
You don't take everything as
weird.
gospel. You know,
Yeah,
sometimes just hearing different opinions makes you think about things a little different.
yeah. I mean, like the one of the rules is like treat yourself like someone you need to take care of, I guess, or something like this, something along those lines. I can't remember the exact verbiage, but like it's like treat somebody like you're helping, like treat yourself like somebody you're helping, and I don't really look out for myself that much. I don't like I don't.
You,
I mean, other than like
you
it's
have
like
kids. You don't have that that luxury.
yeah. It's like
Not allowed to enjoy myself.
no life, no life
Nope.
gang here.
Yeah,
But I do think like
it's overrated.
there's like a human psychology thing like where people are very predictable. There was an actual some kind of experiment or something that they have a website you can actually go test this. It can tell you how predictable you are. Basically you just like click like a like it's like A or B or something like that,
Mhm.
and like after a certain point, like it can kind of get it's supposed to be the program is supposed to be able to guess, predict exactly what you're going to click because you have a pattern. Like even if you think you're being like, no matter how people think that they're being like cheeky, like if you're trying to mess with the system or whatever, at some point you become so predictable. Like after a certain point.
Dude, I feel like the IRS uses shit like that. Like they'll you know only so like if so many numbers end in whatever like a 4, they're like, no, that's not natural. That's somebody faking this, and they think they're being random, but really
Yeah.
it's yeah.
Like if your salary was like like 44,444, it's like okay, like you didn't
Well,
really
like
make
you're
that.
filling out like fake, like let's say you're laundering money and you're making like fake receipts or something. You know what I mean? Like, oh, so many of these end in this digit or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, that must be a thing or not normal or what the fuck ever. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, those fuckers.
Yeah, I really do. Yeah, I think that's a lot of what they do too. They have the kind of technology to see that kind of stuff, and that's why they expect certain things to come from your tax return. And if you don't provide that, then they're like, okay, wait, what the hell? Like, and that's why like if you need to change something, like they need you to sign off on this kind of stuff or whatever. And it's stupid. It's completely stupid. It's like they expect certain things out of you.
Let's see. I was trying to see if we had anything in the chat here. Where is our chat? Am I? Oh, there it is. Jeez. Sorry, it's Boomer Mondays, guys.
Boomer Mondays.
Oh, this
see,
one's this one was interesting, I guess. Sorta. Apparently, and I didn't know this, the Hillsborough County Sheriff lives here. $15.5 million compound in South Tampa. Now, apparently, before we all get our panties in a wad, his dad is like a billionaire or something. So it's not like,
It's
he's
not
just as
all
crooked.
his.
Yeah, it's not like he's as crooked as we like to think. Maybe he is, but I mean, you have to be really crooked for a house like that anyhow. But it'd be like the optics, right? If you were just the sheriff and had this house, it'd be like,
Well,
like, come on.
Well, we had an exact scenario happen like this. There was Gulf Shores, Alabama, right?
Not really, but I assume it's
Okay.
somewhere near the beach.
Yes, it's a beach in the main beach in Alabama. And so there was our county sheriff had a separate home there, and he would send some of the some of the guys would be able to go down there and do their police training, and they would have training in Gulf Shores, and he would allow them to stay at his like second home down there. And he was doing is there was supposed to be food money that was going for the jail, and because of the way that the law was written, he could pocket whatever was left over. So he would just spend like almost nothing on the food, and he would pocket what's left over. He said, he literally said, if you don't like it, change the law. Literally, but there's a video of him saying this. I'll have to send it to you later. I don't want to, obviously dox my county, but
That's funny.
Yeah, he literally says, if you don't like it, change the law. And that he's pocketing that money. He buys a second house in Gulf Shores. He sends his guys down there and says, hey, you can stay there while you're doing your police training. And, he gets to use that as like a tax write-off. So he's doing all this kind of stuff. Like, horrible.
Just so blatant.
Yeah.
Look at this. Okay. Chronister, a registered Republican who's been Hillsborough County Sheriff since 2017, married Nikki DeBartolo back in 2010. Her father is billionaire Eddie DeBartolo Jr., the former San Francisco 49ers owner. And there was some other big thing he owns. I can't remember what it is. Who famously pleaded guilty in a 1998 corruption case, but was later pardoned by former President Donald Trump.
That's crazy. That's a crazy.
Yeah, all comes rolling back. A lot of people were commenting on how awful the interior decoration was, but I don't know enough about houses. I mean, I guess it looks okay to me.
I mean, it doesn't look modern. Like, it doesn't look modern, but
yeah, I mean, it's a fucking mansion on the fucking Tampa Bay and South Tampa. Like, I mean, it's gonna be quirky. Like the pink shit. That's not like wouldn't be shocking. Here, you know what I mean? Like that could all be like Tampa-ish. That's not bad. Ooh,
they're probably saying like it doesn't have like all like theme, like because like a lot of the places, like they'll at least keep the same theme all the way throughout the entire place.
Right. I don't know, man. It's pretty dope. Pink rooms and all.
I mean, I would live there.
Yeah. It said Derek Jeter's home sold for $22 million in 2021, but this would be the most expensive sale in the Tampa area.
Wait, Derek Jeter had a home in Tampa?
Yeah, Davis Islands. Lots of sports players have homes in Davis Islands. Some hockey player at least used to live next door to my my aunt and uncle. It was all like these little cute homes that have been there, forever. Mm-hmm. And what people started doing is buying one, tearing down the home, even just the one lot, and then putting some McMansion like this on it, and it literally takes up 98% of the lot. Yeah. So then there's like my uncle's house that's like a regular 2 or 3 bedroom home, very nice, beautiful. I mean, they've put a lot into it. They've done a lot of renovations, over the years. It's great, but it's just dwarf. Like they can't even see the sunlight, their house, because these mansions that just surround them. So it's crazy. They were doing construction on the hockey player's home one year, and I was over there for Thanksgiving or something, and I later found out it belonged to this big famous hockey player, and I was like, man, I should have gone taking a piss in the kitchen sink while I was still under construction, just to say that I did later when it was his home and he was living in it. It's like, yeah, I took a piss in that guy's sink. Man, I really missed an opportunity there. Oh, dude, look at this
Uh,
couch. Oh my god.
dude, that's
That's what I'm
that's
talking
those
about.
couch beds, like the where you can
Yes.
literally lay out and just. Dude, those are
Oh my
expensive though.
God.
That is
I bet.
stupid expensive.
They have a urinal. Is that a urinal or is that a
Yes.
bidet? Okay.
No, that's urinal. No,
okay,
no.
like, am I
a
gonna go
bidet-
like completely defile their house?
no, the bidet is like it'll just be on the toilet like that.
Okay.
eh,
I
With given that one, that toilet actually probably has a built-in like bidet.
yeah.
thing.
It's probably pretty fancy.
Oh, wait, why
Oh,
do they have toilet paper? Because I bet you
you need something to pat dry with.
True,
right?
True. Yeah,
I don't know. I've never used the bidet. We actually have an attachment that we got, and I haven't hooked it up yet. To be honest,
Same, because you have to hook it up to the water, and I'm like, I don't really want to unhook the water.
I suppose it's easy. I always forget about it until right now
Yeah.
when we're talking about it. Holy shit, that's a gym.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Sorry, this has become like a real estate show.
Oh wow, okay. You got the
Be a
whole
badass
curl
with a
rack.
good ass. That is, yeah, that is nice. Holy shit, the servant's kitchen? Look at that. 'Cause that's not the regular kitchen. I'd be
Yeah,
cooking
that's
in this kitchen.
Yeah, that's a better kitchen anyway. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I like a restaurant kitchen, like cooking in it, like hell yeah. You get the industrial size shit. That's fucking dope. That's a nice view. Hell
yeah, that's probably most of what you're paying for right there, is the view.
Yeah. Yeah, and South Tampa's just pricey. Yeah, that's fucking nice.
Even here, like lakefront riverfront property is like is way more expensive. It's like
Yeah. and
4
it's,
times expensive.
oftentimes just a lot, that you're buying. Oh shit, look. Oh, Tampa Bay Pride. No wonder there's nudity.
Yeah.
Do we want to
Go down that rabbit hole.
road? I mean, we're here. We ain't got much going on.
Okay, we'll get the channel nuked. It's okay. Like Justin won't care.
Hey, we're just sharing a creative loafing article. Let's see. Hug mom. All right. Gross. That's weird. Okay, I love the nipple shirt. I like this guy. I'm on board.
Is it a guy though? That's what okay.
Oh,
Okay.
am I allowed to be turned on by this? Is that what you're saying? Alright.
Well, you can never guess nowadays, with all the like. Okay,
Well, not at this parade. You're definitely not allowed to guess at this parade.
Yeah.
They probably have all sorts of signals. Like, I bet you they know. They walk up and they know exactly what the other one is supposed to be. They don't even have to. Ooh, that's.
Ugh,
Those. I'm gonna take.
that's what you see in your nightmares.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't let them read to your kids. That guy looks halfway normal for Florida. No, the nail polish. Yeah, no, can't do that. Otherwise, that could be a relatively normal dude that you meet at a bar in Tampa, or that, unfortunately. Supervisor of elections is at the Gay Pride Parade for some reason. Seems like some sort of political thing you're not allowed to do. Good for them. Oh, they're off the market. Sorry, Justin. Ooh, those are wedding sweats if I've ever seen them.
Oh gosh. Like I'm not even discussing about the kiss, like the pit sweat.
Yeah, that really is the most offensive part of that. Oh fuck.
I've had it happen too, but I usually try to that's why I wear dark shirts anyway. I don't you don't really want to expose pit sweat if it ever happens.
Is this what they call an otter? A skinny hairy guy? Oh fuck. Sorry. I don't know if we have any viewers today. I don't know whether to apologize or not. Might be like a high school band. I don't know who else plays the clarinet.
They're probably being forced to go to that.
That's the mayor.
The mayor of Tampa?
Yeah, this lady
Oh.
here. I'm 95% sure that that's the mayor of Tampa. She used to be on the police force. Shocker. She
Jane
looks like every
Castro.
lesbian lady you see on TV.
Yeah. Butch.
That cop does not look as enthused to be there.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, they're like they like speaking of cops at those kind of events, like what like there were some that were protecting some of the, I guess, the drag queen story hour stuff. Like, so what it like
Oh, they got the
do you
dog.
do you not think that, like, at some point, like, people just go, okay, well, like, it doesn't matter if I get fired, or it doesn't matter if I, like, is there not a point where people just sit there and go, like, okay, it doesn't matter, like, I'm not gonna do the whole just following orders kind of thing. Like, this is like gross, and I'm not gonna allow it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're an officer who especially does like off duty, like protection-y shit, a lot of them do, whatever we said, they used to come up to the bowling alley on the weekends or what the fuck ever.
Yeah.
It's like, I think at that point, it's like, I don't know. I think a lot of them might be just like, I don't give a fuck really what like, they're paying me to come here and make sure nobody gets out of line, what the fuck ever.
Yeah.
The event might not matter. And I mean, these are the photos they're choosing to show. So I don't know how tame or inappropriate, it may get at certain, like a lot of this stuff isn't too fucking awful. You know what I mean? Compared to stuff I've definitely seen on TV that happens at gay pride parades. What happens under the big gay parachute versus on top of the big gay parachute might be a little different. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because like, okay, like if this is like the case, this is tame enough. I don't see too many assless chaps.
Yeah, not like the New York one or whatever, like that they showed a lot of, like that.
But it's
that
also
one.
very possible that they're just showing more pleasant pictures and creative loafing, which is like the coffee shop newspaper in Tampa. So there's always that possibility. But yeah, I mean, if this is the case, then what the fuck ever. It seems
Tame
just
enough.
as fine as any other stupid parade that they do. For all the other stupid stuff.
But I mean, like, so like let's take it.
Probably shouldn't be
like,
children marching in it though. Those are I don't know.
Yeah.
Private school. You can tell by the uniforms. So
yeah. The talking about like the drag queen story hour kind of thing. Like if that's like that one specifically, like, so like cops protecting that, I think that I don't care what your betters say, that would probably be something like, okay, let's not do this, because there's been several instances where it wasn't just a story hour, it wasn't just reading, obviously. So you've got, at some point, you've got to intervene. If it was literally a drag queen just reading a story, I think, as much as I disagree with it and I would never take my kids to it, it's like, and I don't think that it should be something that's promoted, I guess, by society. If they're just reading, then I'm not going to necessarily like want somebody to come in there and just bang bust this thing.
Right.
But like, as soon as they don't start twerking, or as soon as they're
some of the
they have paste, they bring out the pasties or the fake boobs or whatever. Okay, like, you got to step in at some point, like, and say, no, you can't do this for the kids.
So we'll bring it around to something funny here. But this is who the mayor of Tampa reminds me of. As a funny little video here that I enjoy. Let's see.
What are you building?
Storage shed.
What are you siding it with?
T111.
T111. Yeah, you got to be careful that T111. You want to get the margins right. They have a T&G joint. You want to get it just right.
If by T&G you mean Tongue Grove, you're wrong. T111 is a shiplap scene.
Pretty sure it's T&G. I've worked with it a lot.
No, it's Chilap.
It is.
Well, let's talk foundation bolting. What are you holding the bottom plate down to the slab with?
Redheads.
I'm going with wedge anchors. Yeah, I'd go with J-bolts. I'd put them in when the slab was wet. That way, I wouldn't have to bust out the roto hammer.
Well, going with the footing, I'd use the J-bolts, but we have a 4-inch slab, so
Cut corners, people get hurt.
It's a tool shed. It's not an underground parking structure.
Okay. We're in earthquake country. I don't know if you heard.
So what you building your man?
That
Oh, that's sweet. A deck, right?
No, I'm not building it.
You're not building a
No,
deck?
I'm building a deck, but I'm not building a deck for him.
No.
I'm building a deck for my lady.
Oh.
Yeah.
What you screwing it off with, Deckers?
No, use a 16-penny galvanized common heads.
Oh, you get a hell of a lot more grab with a coarse thread buglehead zinc drywall screw.
I'm in the Van Nuys Unlimited Arc League.
Oh, there. Arizona State.
Ozzy, let's get those drywall screws.
That's awesome.
That's hilarious. like hitting on the he starts hitting on the hot one, and then the butch one like interrupts and
Outmans him like a motherfucker. Cut corners, people get hurt. It's not an underground parking structure. Oh, fuck. All right. Wow, I can't believe we made it down the gay pride parade photo rabbit hole today.
I mean,
the two-person shows get a little weird sometimes.
I mean, what else is there to talk about? Really, like,
I haven't
there's
been
not
paying
like a
attention to
nuts.
news, or anything.
I mean-
I'm like, oh, there's got to be an alligator video or something we shared.
Let's see.
What it was, we made it to the oh, here we go. Here we can I haven't read this one yet, but this can go back. We can bring it back to Drag Queen Story Hour. What was this about?
Oh yeah. So this
That just looks like one of my aunts. That doesn't even look like a drag queen.
well, that took a lot of effort to get to get that kind of look. Let's just say.
But if you just go with
if
ugly
you see the
woman, it's a
before
lot
and after.
easier than hot woman. That's
Yeah.
a piece of advice, y'all. If you're looking to be a passable whatever,
Right,
go for
passable
ugly,
drag
not
queen.
hot. It's easier. Yeah.
Yeah. Go for the older Karen look. Like
Mhm.
you'll be able to pull that off better.
Older
But,
80s aunt. Yeah.
Yeah, but they like there is a video of it. It's disgusting. So I wouldn't show it, but she actually gets up and she's like kind of riding on top of a little girl, kind of almost, or well, like she thing.
This isn't what we talked about with the sitting on the lap of on the last show, is it? Is this
I mean, basically,
another one.
there's another. I think there's a couple of instances like this, but this one, the drag queen, he's getting up on top of like the girl and kind of, gyrating and riding a little bit, and it's like, okay.
With that kind of activity, I can see why they set up the STI testing station at the event.
Yeah.
I need it.
Yeah. It's
Oh
but
my
he's
God.
like, she's sitting on a chair, the little girl's sitting on a chair, and he gets up there, he's he's got his drag outfit on, and then he just starts kind of like, doing a dirty dance on top of her, and it's like, oh, dude, like, no.
They spent $58 in taxpayer money for supplies on the event, streamers and
Yeah.
whatever else. Oh shit!
Like I said though, I just don't get like how you could see something like that. Okay, like this dude that's dressing like a woman is literally getting on top of, and I think that's why that some of the trans people want the drag queen story hour thing or drag queen thing to be a thing. That way it like can poisons the well kind of a little bit, because then it's like, oh wait, I could just be a drag queen, kind of like, I'm not necessarily trans, I can be a drag queen, and this kind of stuff. Oh yeah, this is a good one too.
Speaking of
Incompetent cops.
yeah, so I'd go with some sort of people wearing the wrong gender's clothes and uniforms. Apparently more women agents. So cool.
So you need to be wearing your bulletproof vest and your your helmet more often. You know,
We didn't talk about this one, did we? Were we joking in the chat about it? We
think
didn't
we're-
talk about this
I
last
think-
week, did we?
I think we're joking in the chat about it. I
Okay.
don't remember talking about this in the
'Cause
show.
I remember thinking like, oh, this is just going to incentivize more trans people. You know, if you're a good FBI, if you're a good guy, you know, a FBI guy trying to get in the FBI and you can't because of trying to hire women instead, just throw on a wig and
Yeah, no, I'm trans now. Like,
Yeah.
especially since they have to accept you. It's like, okay, well, I'm a trans woman now. Like, honestly, I've seen that, like that's been like something that I've been saying for like a while. Like a lot of these programs where it's like, okay, this is only for women. Now just literally say you're trans. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to actually dress up like maybe you have to for one appearance, like you dress up like a woman just to like get a photo op or something like
it's
that.
undercover. No, it's undercover work.
And then you never have to do it. You never have to prove anything again because they have to believe you. Right? I mean, so
Hey, check
maybe
it out.
grow
You
your
can
hair
sign
out
up-
a little bit.
Yeah.
You have a little bit longer hair than normal. Like,
You can sign up to get FBI email alerts. I don't know what that entails.
oh wait,
shit.
if I can I find the? I gotta show the female cop thing. Where is it? Oh.
Female cops. I've had very few interactions with female officers. I had a female, I think it was sheriff deputy. One time there was a domestic violence incident at a friend of mine's house, and I was present. So I didn't see anything. I was outside the house when whatever happened inside the house, and they sort of were like holding me and my friends there to like question us, I guess, And like the woman, she's like, I'm like, I was outside, it happened inside, I didn't see anything, totally the truth. And she's like, don't you cover for your friend, and this and that, you tell me the truth, don't you lie. It was like yelling at me, I was like, bitch, like, I'm gonna talk to you anyhow. Like, like, fuck off, man. And I mean, I get like, if something did happen and she wanted to find out what happened, it was like, I didn't see shit, like we were coming to pick up furniture for my friend, and we pull up in the truck, and I get out, and they're just arguing in the garage. I'm like, oh fuck, what did I just walk into? And the cops show up, and like, what the fuck, man? Like, oh.
So this
All right, what
this
do we
is
got?
this is
If
what
you
happens
ever
to the female.
catch the eye of a female cop, hope you wore your bulletproof vest.
I like the way he turns.
Hope you got your vest on, man. I'm praying for you, unironically.
It's lagging.
Oh,
Pause.
is that the same Sam Hyde everyone was upset about the basement comment?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Oh gosh. It's
Okay. Because when we
Oh.
were talking about that Sam Hyde, same Sam Hyde, obviously, but I didn't recognize. He looked different than that guy. I've seen that guy too.
I'm praying for you, unironically.
It's like getting suck.
Oh.
Oh, dude, it's hilarious. So he's like, I hope you're decked out like a PUBG character because you get the best, you get all the stuff. But yeah, it's hilarious. Like Sam Hyde's a hilarious dude, but like that's because he says like like if she thinks you're bigger and she thinks you're stronger, then she's gonna feel threatened. She's gonna pull
They
the
rely on
trigger.
their tools a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think generally I've heard some really like positive stories of like police departments teaching their officers jujitsu. And they just have all around less officer injuries, less suspect injuries, this and that, because you just know how to handle people. You're more confident in yourself. So you're going to shoot somebody fucking less. And he's like, a lot of times it's just you get a hold of somebody and you just hold them for 30 seconds and they calm down. But you just have to hold them for 30 seconds and they calm the fuck down. And then you can just put the cuffs on them nice and calmly. And
Or they tire themselves out. Like
Yeah.
if you hold them down,
Yeah.
they tired themselves out. Now like okay, they can't really resist as much anymore. So now you can't just be like stop resisting because like you got them down and they can't.
Yeah, they tend to be impulsive people who commit crimes like that require being held down anyhow, and chased. So like it's like they need that 30 seconds to calm down, realize the situation they're in, and this, that, and the other. But yeah, all around it just makes more confident. I think that's really the big thing. And I think that's a big problem with the females on the force is there. I mean, rightly so, not wanting to go to the ground with somebody. you know.
Yeah.
But that's, you know, maybe
Because that's how you get killed real quick. Like,
Yeah.
if you
and
get in a-
when you
you get in
weigh
a grapple.
115 pounds, like what the fuck? How are you ever trying to throw down with anybody? You know, so I mean, I'm light compared to the average criminal at, you know, 155. So, yeah, I think hiring too many female cops is pretty retarded.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.